Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be a fun tag video for Game of Thrones. I found a bunch of questions. There'll be 15 of them. Normally I'd be posting this on Sunday, but I'm going to start roping off Sundays for Walking Dead videos. So I'll give you guys updates on the schedule at the end of this video. Also, since this is a tag video, I'll be tagging some of you guys at the end of it, so be prepared. So starting with number 1, favorite one-off episode from any season. So just picking, I'd say Red Wedding, hands down. I think it still beats The Purple Wedding along with Blackwater in terms of moments of shock and awe. At the time it aired, I knew what the story was, like I'd read book 3, but it had been so long that I just wasn't thinking about it that much before it happened. I'd also only just started to make videos, so I wasn't like super dialed into spoilery behind the scenes stuff either. Even right up to the episode, I wasn't even thinking Red Wedding, even though the name was Rains of Castamere. Unless you were really thinking hard about it, like really thinking deep, you probably weren't thinking Red Wedding. But just the whole way the episode came together in terms of pacing, the set design, and oh god, the music. I mean, it was just perfect. In my mind, probably the most perfect moment of television of that entire year. By the time season 4 rolled around, I was completely dialed into the behind the scenes stuff, so there really were no surprises with the exception of that White Walker scene in episode 4. That was really the only big surprise. On to question number 2, favorite villain. So technically, obviously, there are no villains on the show, but I think hands down the biggest, best villain of season 4 was at least the Mountain. The books do give you some more background as to possible reasons he might be such a mean person, but on the show, he's clearly painted as a monster. And if you weren't sure before, squishing a beloved character's head like a grape will rocket you to the top of the villain list. Question number 3, least favorite main character. I would say Shae, just because she wasn't a main character in the books, and there was a really good reason for that. She's not meant to be a main character. The show tried to turn her into something more, but I felt like Peter Dinklage could have just talked to himself, and it would have been more enjoyable. Part of the reason why I think that they jumped her up to main cast was because they gave Tyrion so many extra scenes, and they wanted to paint him as being very sympathetic, and they felt like Shae did that. Peter Dinklage is amazing all by himself, so I don't think it was necessary. And the issue ended up resolving itself pretty nicely at the end of season 4 anyway. So no more need to worry about that. But on to question number 4, favorite sidekick. Always Podrick. He's going to be the hands down the best sidekick the series ever has. Just like Shae, his show version of the character has gotten a lot more scenes, but I feel like it's been much more enjoyable just because of the pairings they've made. I'm totally loving the Brienne Podrick scenes right now. I like them more together as a pair than when Podrick was with Tyrion. They just work better together. Both the characters want nothing more than to become knights. Podrick's job technically is squire. Just to be clear though, I do not ship them in any form or way. He's just there for comedic value. That's why he wasn't around whenever the big fight with the Hound was going on. On to question number 5, which character do you love to hate? I'd say the only person that I enjoy hating is Ramsay Bolton. He's written that way, but the actor who plays him takes it to this crazy place where you actually do have fun wanting him to die in a very horrible way. Before Ramsay came along, I would say it would have been Joffrey, but we got so much Joffrey rammed down our throats, I feel like it got to be a little too much. It got to be a little too self-aware, like we were just waiting for him to go away. I think we're getting just the right amount of Ramsay, everything in moderation, even torturing Theon. If I were making this video a couple years ago at the end of season 2, I would say that Theon was probably the character that I'd love to hate. But on to question number 6, favorite friendship. I would say my favorite friendship that's just genuine friendship, there's no subtextual relationship going on, is Jon and Samwell. I'm sure there's some sort of Tumblr ship dedicated to them out there, but they feel like they have this very familiar camaraderie where they both completely understand each other and they know what their relationship is all about, just helping each other survive. Brienne and Jaime would normally top a list like this, but I feel like their relationship isn't so much about friendship, it's more about implied romance. I guess all that being said though, you could say that the Starks and their direwolves could be the best friendships on the show. Most of them have been separated, so you could take it either way, Jonwell or direwolves. On to question number 7, favorite friendship that never felt real to you. I would say any friendship that Littlefinger was a part of. He is like the one person I feel has no friends. I really think inside himself somewhere, he understands that everyone is just a piece on the game board for him to move around. The books spell out his feelings for Catelyn a little more specifically in a way that the show did not. So I do believe that he loved her at one point, he had genuine emotions for her. But by the time we meet him in the story, all that's become completely twisted. If not for Ramsay Bolton, I would say Littlefinger is one of the most evil people on the show. Mostly for his emotional crimes that he commits, but also for the actual crimes that he commits. If he had his way, everything would just crumble to dust and he'd laugh because everyone's toys were broken. He's like that little kid that tries to smash your toys when you're not looking and be your friend whenever you turn back around. But question number 8, favorite wise guy / joke teller. Easily Tyrion. Bronn tells a lot of jokes, but Tyrion's humor comes from this really weird place. It's like he has this nervous laugh that actually makes him funnier, even when he's not trying to be funny. It's like, I'm not laughing because I think my own jokes are funny. Like, he doesn't laugh at his own jokes. He's laughing because he's nervous someone's going to jump out and kill him at any moment. There's something about nervous laughter in King's Landing that just seems so much more funny to me than actual laughter. But onto question number 9, least favorite villain. I would say Littlefinger. He's very clearly a villain, not in the way that the Mountain is a villain, like a big brute. He's a little more insidious. I just feel like I'd have more fun with the character if Aidan Gillen, the actor, didn't do the Batman voice all the time. I get it, Littlefinger is like this mustache twirling villain on the series, but I feel like he could convey that without doing Batman voice. Like, he could just speak in a normal voice and it would still be creepy. This is really just an issue with the show. In the books, I control the way he sounds in my imagination. It's the show that takes that choice away from you. So if this video were just about the books, my answer would probably be a little bit different, but this is mostly a show video. On to question number 10, least favorite season-long storyline. I would have to say Bran, but only just because he totally got dropped. When I say dropped, I just mean seasons 3 and 4 skipped a lot of his story. I feel like it's a good story, but because it didn't involve face squashing or naked whores, the show just didn't really do much with it. Bran's journey, in my mind, gives you this nice mystical dimension to Song of Ice and Fire that you don't get from Melisandre's perspective. Hopefully season 5 will bring that out just a little bit more. I did see the girl who played the Child of the Forest was listed as being in episode 1, so presumably they're going to follow up on the events of the finale. But on to question number 11, this is actually an interesting one. Talk about a character with a bad story or a bad character arc. So I am a pretty loyal Martin fan, so I don't view there being any bad stories, but since this is mostly talking about the show, I'll obviously say Shae. The way her character ended just made her seem like such a piece of trash. If she was supposed to be this big main character, Martin would have written her to be a little more self-aware of Tyrion's reasons for pushing her away. She was supposed to be clever, but if she was clever, why wouldn't she just wait things out for a few years overseas till Tyrion could bring her back? We have to remember, in A Song of Ice and Fire, it's all about the long con. This is not a short game. Question number 12. Which character pisses you off no matter how much you try to like them? Definitely Samwell, but he's written to be that way. He's like the Lisa Simpson of the story. He'll probably end up gaining all the knowledge they need to defeat the White Walkers. I haven't read that far ahead, we don't know when's a winner. But presumably, he's one of the smarter characters, so if he doesn't die, then he'll probably get the information they need. However, because everyone totally thinks he's a fool, no one is going to listen to him. That's like the curse of Lisa Simpson. You are the smartest character, but no one takes you seriously, and thus no one listens to you. I am really interested to see how closely Samwell's story sticks to the books in season 5. But question number 13. Plot device that gets used too much. Definitely using whorehouse sex scenes to convey exposition. People started calling it sexposition, I think after the first or second season. Game of Thrones was the actual show that coined the term sexposition. They haven't done it quite as much since Littlefinger left King's Landing because most of those scenes happened in his whorehouse, but there still are some of those scenes. It seems like every episode, I'm always kind of wondering when the big explainer scene is coming and who's going to be having sex when they explain it. I do feel like that would be like a really good EDU YouTube channel, Sex Positions. I'll just bookmark that for later. But question number 14, favorite character death scene. Definitely Oberyn Martell versus the Mountain. That was just an amazing fight scene to begin with. Joffrey's death scene, was satisfying, but all I could think was, thank God, it's finally over. Oberyn's character arc in general was just so much more interesting, and it didn't drag out for too many seasons. And honestly, there aren't that many fights on television where you can say someone squished someone else's head like a grape. People get poisoned all the time. And question number 15, last one. Abandoned or unanswered plotline that always bugs you. So until we hear otherwise, this is always going to be Gendry. As of right now, he's still rowing his way from Dragonstone to King's Landing for all we know. There are any number of directions they can take his character. Obviously, they're probably going to change what happens to him in the books. I know a lot of you want him to meet up with Arya again. So I'm not going to mention a lot of what happens with all those characters in the books, but if you do want to talk about it in the comments, please just use spoiler tags whenever you're commenting. Of all the characters in season 5, I do feel like Arya's storyline is going to be one of the arcs that stays closer to the books. Book 4 specifically, if you guys want to read ahead and you haven't yet. Okay, so this was a lot of fun, but now it's time to tag some of you guys. So I tag Chaos Device, Drake Vagabond, Rag Princess Sews, and Simply Maya Beauty. So it's okay if you guys can't make videos for this, just do like a Tumblr post and then tweet the link out and just add my Twitter name in the handle so it shows up in my mentions. I'm also creating a poll for our first rewatch episode. Once we find an episode and a time that everyone can watch it, we'll give it a try. So there are links for everything in the description, and like I said, my schedule is changing just a little bit, so Game of Thrones videos are either going to come on like Thursdays or Fridays now, depending on how everything works out. We'll just see how it goes. I just did a big video where I talk about all the videos and the TV shows and stuff I'm going to be doing this fall, so you can click here to watch that if you haven't seen it already, and you can click here to learn all about some of the new characters in Season 5. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. High fives.